Sir, what's your name and when were you born and where?
All right, my name's Harvey Blassingame. I was born at Ranger, Georgia in 1937, July of 1937. My mother said she was making blackberry jelly the day I was born. I just lived about a mile away from my grandpa, my mother's parents. And my grandpa never owned a car, so he had a pair of mules he drove everywhere he went with the wagons.
What was it like growing up then?
Well, we moved around a lot when I was first born. Started school at Liberty there at Calhoun, then we moved to Ramhurst. And I spent most of my growing up years at Ramhurst, Georgia.
What would you say is your earliest childhood memories, Harvey?
Well, getting to swim in Rock Creek and learning to swim was probably one of the highest times of growing up.
When you were growing up, did you have an interest in trains?
Oh yeah, we lived right, even when I was small, we lived close to a railroad track. We first started out, I was born at Ranger right close to the L&N Railroad. Then we moved over to Calhoun. I was over there on the NC in St. L. Then when we came back to Ramhurst, I was back there close to the railroad again.
What you remember about the NC in St. L?
Well, we lived on the NC in St. L at, I can't remember what it was.
That's all right.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
McDaniel Station. I was just lived right across the road from the railroad then at McDaniel Station. And my daddy, that was the first year I went to school, went to Liberty. And it was just across the hill from my house. And my daddy drove the bus there some.
So when you was growing up, you remember seeing all the steam locomotives on that NC in St. L, I guess?
Well, I don't actually remember the steam engines there, but I do remember them at Ramhurst because we had a water tank in the community.
Okay.
And Mr. Willie Nelson was the name of the guy that pumped the water in the tank. And people in the community set barrels down there under the tank, and Mr. Willie would pump the water over and fill up the barrels. Then people would go down there and wash clothes.
Wow. Free water. Do you remember any of the first generation diesel locomotives on the NC or the?
Well, I remember about a wreck there at Ramhurst one time, a passenger train wreck.
Okay.
And after I went to work on the railroad, I asked them what happened. And they said one of the motors locked down it caused a wreck.
Wow.
One of the electric motors on the axle actually froze up.
Traction motors.
Yeah, traction motor froze up.
Wow.
I remember bringing them buses and hauling the people away from the wreck.
You helped with that?
Oh no, I just seen it happen.
That was before you got on with the railroad.
That's before I went to work with the railroad. Yeah, that was while I was growing up.
Well, growing up in high school, what were you famous for in high school?
Well, I ran track. I ran the mile. I ran, in my 4 years, I run 23 races in total and won 18 of them.
Wow.
And I didn't get much, I didn't have a coach. Yeah, I just trained on my own, run 5 miles a day, 5 days a week. That's all the running I ever done to get in shape for running.
You a better man than I, Harvey.
And I lost 1 race a year till my last year, and I lost 2 races that year. My freshman year, I lost a region race. The next 3 years, I lost the final race at the state, and at the University of Georgia. Got to run on their track. And also the 5th race I lost was at Baylor High in Chattanooga. I lost there, prep school.
Anything else in high school you remember about?
Oh yeah, I played football.
Okay.
And I made both touchdowns when we beat Calhoun the first time.
That's good.
We beat them 12-6.
That'll be hard.
And you remember after all these
That was
years?
in 1956.
Wow.
That's amazing.
The paper said, Mary beats Calhoun as Blassigame shines.
How about that?
Hey,
All right.
those skills helped you out later on in life, didn't they?
Oh yeah.
We'll get to that in a little bit. I'll let you go, Robert.
All right. So, what else in high school? Got anything else you was
Well,
into?
I did do some dancing and stuff like that. That like the prom and do stuff like that. I enjoyed anything involved in music.
Good.
Another question that Patrick wanted me to ask you about is tell me about your first train ride. He said you rode a train when you were a little kid.
No.
Passenger train. He said it was like a train from Birmingham to somewhere.
No, that was in '57.
57.
That was my senior class trip.
Tell me.
That was a Silver Comet, Seaboard Silver Comet, that ran from Birmingham to New York City. Our senior class, Mary County High School senior class in 1957, rode it from Atlanta to Washington, D.C.
What was that like? Did you enjoy fine dining and all that?
Well, no, we didn't have the fine dining.
You slept in your coach seats, I reckon.
Exactly right.
Well, once you got out of high school, where'd you go?
Well, I joined the reserves while I was in high school in 1955. Joined the Army Reserve at Dalton, and I joined under the plan where after I graduated, I went for 6 months active duty, and I spent that time at Fort Jackson, South Carolina. And then after I come out, I got out in December, and that's when I bought my first car, and didn't even have a job. Didn't get a job till in February.
What was that first car?
I done. Oh, you redid that, didn't you?
Yeah.
What car was that?
Oh, I was that 1954 Ford.
And how much did you pay for it?
$800.
Now, if you didn't have a job, where'd you get the money?
Well, I'd saved up that money from raising calves,
Oh, okay.
and I was in the 100 Bushel Corn Club while I was in high school in agriculture.
Were you in the FFA?
Yeah,
Okay.
and when I was in grammar school, I was in the 4-H 100 Bushel Corn Club,
Okay.
and the first club we had there at Ramhurst, they elected me president.
Sound like you had quite a good high school there. And
I had a good growing up, yeah.
good.
Had a good family.
Good.
Tell us about your mom and dad.
Mom and Dad, they what they amazed me is doing, they'd sing at home, but they never sang at church.
Wow.
But they didn't do it all the time, you know. But every once in a while they'd just get together and start singing there in the house.
It's like that Johnny Cash song, Daddy Sang Bass.
Mama sang tenor.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. Now, I was going to ask you about your wife. How did you meet your wife?
Oh, I went to school with her.
So
She
were you
was-
high school
she-
sweethearts?
No, we wasn't. But she was a year behind me in school. And I started dating her when she was in Reinhardt College over at Waleska, Georgia.
Okay. Where that's at?
And tell me about asking her out. How'd you ask her out? How'd you realize you liked each other, and then how'd you ask her out?
I was dating one of her friends, and we broke up, and she was trying to get us back together. And it wound up me and her got together.
You good thing she didn't get y'all back together.
How'd her friend feel about that?
Well, I think her friend was okay because she was in Atlanta.
So it worked out
She
okay
was,
for you.
yeah.
Now,
Did she stay friends or no?
Oh, I reckon so. Yeah. As far as I know.
Wow. Go ahead, Robert. You had a question.
now, once you got married, you had 3 daughters.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you have them before you was in the Army, or?
Yeah. No. Just had the one when I was in
Okay.
the Army.
All right.
I went in '62
Okay.
with the intention to make it a career, and got out in '65, May of '65.
What did you do in the Army?
I was in a nuclear weapons outfit.
Okay. Did you go overseas any?
I went to Germany for
Wow.
6 months. I was at Mannheim, Germany.
Now, Was it classified, secret, what you did?
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
See?
So you can't talk about that.
You couldn't
can
talk about
Well,
it.
I can now. Yeah.
Well, tell us about it.
What'd you do with the...
Well, they had, each battalion had a unit of nuclear weapons. And I've been told lately, I've talked to people about it, you know, and they said it was just to offset what Russia was doing.
Yeah.
And it was never used as a weapon anyway. Probably
Okay.
wouldn't have ever been. 'Cause it was
Good
just
thing you wasn't, right?
it was just a small weapon. It could be used from it could be fired from a Jeep even.
Okay.
Wow. Wow.
It was a recoilless type weapon.
Okay. How long did you stay in the Army then?
3 years.
Okay. So when did you get out of the Army?
May of 1965.
All right. What'd you do when you got home?
Well, I went to work in the carpet mills
Okay. Where at?
in Dalton.
If you don't mind me asking, who are your kids? Oldest to youngest?
Angela Quinn, Amy Osborne, and Anita Johnson.
And you had them after you got out of the military.
Had two of them. One of them she was born in 61. And then the other was born in 67, 69. That's after I went to work on the railroad.
Got it. Okay. And I'll let you go from there, Robert, the carpet industry.
Yeah. Tell me about that. Was that pretty standard? Everybody in North Georgia
Yeah,
go
it was,
work for the carpet mills.
yeah, right, exactly right.
It was a big deal back then too, wasn't it?
And I enjoyed running those machines and making the carpet too.
Wow.
You could all you had to do is worry about changing out the backing.
Okay.
It'd sit there and run on that filament yarn.
So even back then it was pretty automated.
Yeah.
Okay. What kind of carpet you make? You make that shag carpet we had in the 70s?
Well, we made some for Marilyn Monroe one time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Custom order?
Yeah.
What'd it look like?
It was shag carpet, big long. It was something for her bathroom.
I'll be. Oh, my goodness. Well, you worked your time at the carpet mill. I guess you went from there to the railroad.
Yeah. I was at a lodge meeting one night, and one of the guys that already went to work on the railroad told me they was hiring. So I went to Etowah and got me an application and filled it out and got hired.
Before we get to the railroad career, what lodge were you in? What organization?
I was in 664 Chatsworth, Georgia. Lodge.
Masons?
Masonic Lodge.
Masonic Lodge? Okay. All right,
Yeah.
well, that's what Masons do, is help other Masons.
That's right. That's right.
So you applied in Etowah, and when did you get hired in?
I had to go to Knoxville and take a test and all that.
Okay.
And then that's when they hired me. My hire date's the 17th of March, St. Patrick's Day
Wow.
in March.
1966.
66.
You know how old I was in 66? I was 6.
All right.
No, I was still 5. I didn't turn 6 till May.
Okay.
All right, so you got on with the great L&N, did you? Was it a pretty good job?
Oh, yeah, it was a wonderful job.
Good,
A
good.
wonderful job.
I got a question. Harvey, you told me the last time I interviewed you that you always wanted to work for the railroad. Why didn't you go work for the railroad right out of the military instead of going to the carpet?
Well, I didn't think about there being any jobs there because the economy was real slow during that time. And it just began to pick up in the 60s, you know.
So, you were how old when you hired onto the railroad?
28.
All right, Robert, I'll let you take it from here.
All right, now when you hired on, did you stay in Etowah? Did you come here? Where was your first assignment?
I still lived at Chatsworth.
Okay.
And I worked a job in Atlanta for a while. Then I worked a job in a ball ground for a while. Then I had the opportunity to bid in a job on the passenger train, so I bid that in.
Oh, what train was it?
17 and 18.
And what was their names?
The Flamingo.
Flamingo, okay.
Yeah,
They named some of their trains after birds, didn't they?
they sure did.
And how long did you work on the passenger train?
Well, I don't remember exactly how long, but I worked long enough to get a uniform and all that to wear. And
how was the passengers back then? Were they pretty regular, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They rode a lot back then, though, didn't they?
there wasn't a whole lot of passengers on the train, but they always was repeat riders, like
Oh,
you
okay.
said. Yeah.
So you kind of got on at the tail end of the glory days of
Yeah, it was.
good
it was-
passenger trains.
The Flamingo was cut off March 8th, 1967.
Wow.
No, 68. 1968. March 8th, 1968.
Now, did you work on it until then, or?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So once they cut off the Flamingo.
Well, no, I actually got off of it prior
Okay.
to it being cut off because they changed the flagging job to a baggage job, and I didn't want to do the baggage
I don't
job,
blame you.
so I just didn't bid on it.
So you were flagman.
Yeah.
Okay. So once you got off the Flamingo, where'd you go from there?
I went back to the ball ground job.
Okay. Still a flagman?
No, brakeman.
Brakeman, okay.
Yeah.
So you went ball ground as a brakeman, stayed there for a little bit. What was next for you after that?
Probably the extra board. I went to the extra board.
As a brakeman?
Yeah, as a brakeman.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long did you stay on that extra board?
I don't remember exactly how long I stayed on it, but I was on it. I was either, a lot of you bounced around from job to job as you could hold it.
Right.
It was better to be on a regular job if you could be on one instead of on the extra board.
Right.
You make a little more money on the extra board, but your time,
You got to travel a little bit.
and you never know when you're going to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So back in those days, they still call you on the telephone.
Yeah. And when I hired in, if you lived within 1.5 miles of the calling office, you didn't even have to have a telephone. They'd have to come and notify you.
Would they have a runner?
They had a clerk, and he brought a book with him, and you had to sign that book when he gave you the call.
Wow. Make sure you knew about it.
Right. He had evidence there. He notified you.
There you go. Well, I bet you didn't turn many down, though.
No,
did
I didn't.
you? No, that's
Not with a family. You
there
can't.
you go. There you go. Well, that ball ground job, where'd you go from there after that?
I probably went to the Murphy Turn,
Okay.
and it was a night job. I could hold it as conductor.
Okay.
That's where I wound up going there. And a couple of weeks later, I got rolled off a job, so I went back to ball ground. And just a few days later, the guy that was over the maintenance way showed up down there at ball ground one day when we was there waiting on the train to come out of Atlanta so we could take it on to Talking Rock. He told me, he said, "Harvey, I want you to go back to that Murphy Turn if you can get back over there." I said, Johnny Mack and them have been on the ground every night since you've been gone.
He knew you was a better man, though, right?
I didn't get him out at night.
There you go. Well, did you?
Yeah, I did.
You went back to that Murphy job?
As soon as I
okay.
could, yeah.
Okay.
As soon as Johnny Mack got to where he could get hold of a good job in Etowah, he left it.
All right. So went back to Murphy, worked there a little while. Where'd you go after that?
Well, I went back on the extra board
Okay.
because I was after I was promoted to conductor. I was promoted to conductor in 1972,
All right.
September 1972. I made my first trip as conductor to Atlanta the 23rd of December 1972.
72. All right.
1972.
I got one for you, Harvey. So you told me one time you worked on a passenger train just to do it. Could you tell me about that? You said you went all the way to Corbin or something like that?
I had to go all the way to Corbin to get the job. That's where I went to work, was in Corbin.
Was that on the Flamingo?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to go I lived at Chatsworth and had to go all the way to Corbin, Kentucky to go to work. What I done, I rode the Trailway bus.
Okay.
From Etowah, I drove my car up here to Etowah out of Chatsworth and then rode the trailway bus to Corbin. Made my round trip to Atlanta and back. And then I did that on the same day, down there and back on the same day. And then was off 2 days. And I spent one of my off days going to and from the job, though. And what I done, I rode the piggyback back from Corbin to Etowah.
Oh, okay.
And then got in my car and went home.
I got another one for you. So, what was Etowah like back then? The railroad yard. Were there still shops there? Were there a lot of tracks? Like, what was the yard like?
Well, the yard today is still about like it was when I retired, as far as the tracks go, you know. But there was the buildings and stuff there. There was a turntable and stuff like that that's gone. The shop where they worked on the engine.
And that was all.
The roundhouse was already gone.
The roundhouse was gone. Okay.
Yeah, it was gone completely. But the shop where they could work on the engines, where they had the pit down under the track, well, that was still there.
And the depot, they were still using the depot at this time?
We used the depot sometime in '74.
And where were the dispatchers located at?
In Knoxville. Well, we had the ones when we went on the NC in St. L at Cartersville. We come under a different dispatcher, and they were in Dalton.
Okay.
Were you using radios when you first started?
Yeah, we had radios. Yeah, but they were big old heavy jobs. And we just had one per crew, you know. And of course, they could talk to the engine.
And were they handheld? Did you wear them on your waist, or how did you?
You had a big old heavy radio. You had a strap on it, and you wore it on your shoulder.
Did you like using the radio, or would you rather stick to hand signals?
I'd rather do hand signals.
So were people kicking and screaming because they didn't want to use the radios?
Oh no.
A lot of guys like the radios.
Ones that didn't have to use them.
They didn't like toting them around either, did you?
Right.
Did you have those chest?
We got them chest packs later.
Okay.
But them radios we had when I first hired in, they were big things. I mean, they probably weighed 6-7 pounds.
Did you have the one that was like a satchel with a telephone on it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's what everybody had back then. We had one of those at the shop. It still worked. I brought it up here when we first started running.
All right.
Well, once you got a little more on the passenger train, when you got to Atlanta, you just come right back. You didn't.
You took 8 hours rest down there.
Okay.
But see, working the passenger train, it didn't take long to get down there.
Right. They had track rides over everybody, didn't they?
Right.
Okay. So it was not that slow of a trip like it was on the freight train.
And the thing is about it, on the weekends, the crew that worked the local that ran out of Atlanta to Etowah, and the Etowah to Atlanta, they would, on Monday morning, they'd ride down and catch a job out of Atlanta coming north. And when they went down Saturday, they'd catch a train back from down there back to Etowah. So they just on their job, they just spent 2 nights away from home.
Oh, okay.
Were you still using cabooses?
Yes.
Tell me about that, because this young, naive rail fan right here, I didn't realize y'all didn't have crew dorms, until the 80s, really. So tell me, what was life like with the cabooses?
Well, your caboose was away from home housing. And of course, we was always pretty close to a restaurant where you wouldn't have to worry about cooking. But occasionally we would cook, And we had some conductors that could cook some pretty good meals.
Did you ever cook?
No, I never did.
You left the cooking to the guys that could do it, huh?
Right.
All right. Well, so y'all pretty much lived in the caboose.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, if y'all were in a siding or something holding it for a while, they let you nap in there?
No, but they do now.
Oh, yeah. But I didn't think they did back then.
No, they didn't.
Even when your dad had?
Well, you could if his dad hadn't. But it's unusual. When we first started, it was unusual the dad had, except on the train. Yeah,
You ride up in the cab or the caboose when you did it?
usually in the engine.
Okay.
Now, Harvey, when you would deadhead, I mean, obviously it just kind of depended on how many trains there were, but how much time were you at home before they called you again?
I was usually, you could mark up rest and mark up 10 hours rest, or do the 8-hour rest. But they had to let you off 8 hours. Minimum 8 hours.
Okay.
Well, I'm saying, like, for instance, if you take a train from Etowah to Atlanta or wherever, and then you deadhead back to Etowah sleeping in the caboose, could they just call you right back to work?
No, that deadhead time it counts like working.
That's what I was wondering about.
Yeah.
So was it hard on your family when you went to work for the railroad? Because did you get to see them a lot when you were at the carpet place?
Yeah. I seen them a lot when I was working on the railroad even. I could always take time off, you know.
So it wasn't as bad as everybody says it is.
No.
Now, what was your favorite part about working on the railroad? The pay?
Well, no, actually the favorite part of working on the railroad was working on the passenger train,
Okay.
being around the people.
Yeah.
And that's why I decided I didn't want to be an engineer, that I wanted to be a conductor where I could be with the people.
And then they took the passenger trains away.
Yeah.
Man,
But that's
yeah.
still I could be around customers, you know, on the local.
Yeah.
On the local freights.
Now, you knew all the station agents, everybody in
Oh yeah.
up and down, all the freight agents and all that.
Yeah.
Well, when did you work on this line, on the old line?
I got to where I could hold the conductor on the night job even before I retired.
Okay. When'd you start on this line?
I started, of course, I had to cub it.
Yeah.
You had to cub all these jobs, and then occasionally you'd catch it off the extra board.
Okay.
And then I got to where I could hold it at night braking, and I worked it a while like that, you know, until I got rolled. Things changed quite a bit through the years as you go, you know. Business will pick up,
Yeah.
and people will move around on jobs, and then they'll slow down and they change again, get a better job, you know. That's the way.
Now, when you worked this line, you got any good stories from here?
Oh, yeah, I got some pretty good ones.
Tell us about something about a car that got away in the river.
Oh, that was an L&J.
Oh, okay. What happened?
The purpose of that was the way you did that stuff was block the air on the car, where when you separate, it won't put the brakes on, and you just give it a little kick and it'll go, you know, pretty good.
Yeah.
But it's usually not rolling so fast you can't catch it, you know. And what you do, where you want it to stop, you bust the air,
Okay.
and that normally stops the car. But if the brake ain't working for some reason, then it won't stop the car, and that's what happened to that deal. And that would happen before my time on the railroad. But I've heard it told many a time. The guy that was down there was supposed to catch a car. He hollered on his radio, says, "Kick me another," and that went in the river.
He had no trouble, did he?
No, he didn't get
It was
trouble.
mechanical malfunction.
There you go.
All right.
And when I was cubbing, it's a wonder I didn't get hurt. Something similar to that. We put a bulkhead flat in to Cocker Lumber Company there, and it was next to the engine. And they shoved it in there, and they told me to put a handbrake on it. Of course, they cut loose from it and busted the air. And that put the brake on. And I was nearly to the top of the car, and it started rolling off. The brake released on it.
Uh-oh.
And they stopped the engine and let the car roll into it, and it knocked me plumb off that car, and I was laying on my back in the middle of the track.
My goodness.
But I didn't get hurt.
Good.
It's just the Lord taking care of me.
Yeah. What do you think
course.
about this line here?
Oh,
Was it a tough line to work?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't tough. It was a good job.
Good job. All right. A lot of stuff out of Copper Hill. What all y'all have out of Copper Hill?
Oh, we hauled that sulfuric acid out of Copper Hill. There was a lot of it coming out. And we had so much business out of Etowah, we had to run 2 trains a day out of Etowah, Copper Hill.
Wow.
And we carried a lot of that old line business down this way too. They'd send it out of Atlanta, send it up here to Etowah, and it'd go down this way on the night job.
So they'd send it up by the new line.
Yeah.
And then y'all brought it back down.
And they had, a lot of the empties, boxcars, they loaded a lot of them at Whitestone with lime. And if they didn't need all them boxcars that was coming, we had several tracks like Hiwassee, McFarland, Appalachia, places like that. We could set off as many as we need to, you know. And we'd have instructions to do that.
That way there's a little closer when you need them.
That's right.
What all this type of businesses were up and down this line when you worked it?
Oh yeah, it was business everywhere. Wood yards.
Oh, pulpwood yards.
Oh yeah. There was 3 pulpwood yards at Blue Ridge, 1 at Turtletown. Next and south was L&J. Then the next and south of there was Nelson. And I don't think there's any more south of that I can remember.
Josh asked me to ask you how they used to operate the line. They would have a couple of trains and you guys would swap cars.
Oh, that was at Talking Rock.
Okay.
Yeah. What we would do, that stuff that was coming south on track 3, on train 3, it would all be going to Atlanta. And what we'd have would be going north to places up that way, you know, behind, toward Blue Ridge and up that way.
So with the northbound crew and the southbound crew, did you swap?
Yeah, we had a place there where there used to be the Hook and Eye. That's where the Hook and Eye gets its name, from that track there at Talking Rock, and the loop, that's the eye. And that track down there is the Hook.
Yeah.
And we'd pull down in there with ours, and then they'd pull up and hook to them, pull them up. Then we'd get over on their train, and we'd swap around, push it back down, and swap trains that way.
So you have them go all the way to Atlanta.
That's right.
All right.
Then if you was on that 15 and 16, you'd take the train back south to Ball Ground, and then that's where our crew there is getting their rest. If their rest was up, they'd take the train and go on into Atlanta.
That was a hotel, railroad hotel or something there in Ball Ground they rest?
No, there was no boxcar.
Oh gosh.
There was no boxcar made into a place for them to sleep.
Like the old work trains and crew car, or camp cars. There we go.
Yeah, it was camp car. Yeah, that's what it was.
Wow, it was comfortable, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
They didn't have no air conditioning though, did they?
No. You had to have your own bedding.
Yeah.
They did have a mattress on them, but you had to have your own sheets and blankets and stuff, whatever
Keep
you
all that in your grip?
No, you just left it there.
Did you have a locker?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was pretty bare bones accommodations there, wasn't it?
And we usually used the people that worked the 15, 16. Well, the people that come out of Atlanta would use their car to go eat. They'd usually go eat when they first come in. Then they'd come back and get their rest.
Now, on this line, you always tell everybody there was still somebody living in Probst.
Oh yeah, Joe Carver lived there.
Okay.
And we had a guy on the train the other day that knew him.
Wow. So you knew everybody that lived up and down the line
Yeah.
pretty much.
And that guy knew a lot of the people that I know, you know,
Okay.
that worked on the railroad.
A lot of the station agents and all that.
Yeah.
All right. So they were still folks in Probst, but I guess they eventually moved on.
And the last passenger train ran over here in 1951.
51. So they took it off pretty early compared to.
It was train 1 and 4.
Okay. They come all the way out of
Knoxville.
go to Atlanta, or
No, it went to Copper Hill and back.
okay. What about the rest of this line? What all did you have up and down the line? I know you tell a little bit about cornfields.
Oh yeah, that was there at Probst, close to Probst,
Okay.
where the river gets away from the track.
Yeah.
Then of course it's growed up in timber now. But back when I first went to work, there were cornfields there.
So who farmed it? Was it?
I don't really
Now
know.
that wasn't National Forest property at that time, was it?
No,
Okay.
it was still private. That part was still private land.
Y'all ever get any corn?
No.
No, but you did have what'd you have, a pecan tree over
Had
there?
a couple of
somewhere?
pecan trees growing at the north switch at Hiawassee.
Did y'all ever stop and pick them up?
Yeah.
How'd you do that?
Well, usually the conductor did that.
Okay.
He would spot something wrong with the train, need to check, need to stop the train, and
Had to stop right there though, right?
exactly.
Yeah, I got you.
That's a place where you could see you could see further.
Yeah. Got to check all that brake rigging.
Some of them brakes sticking or something.
Brake sticking, there you go. So you had all the pecans you needed. Well, was there anything still at McFarland when you started working this line? They'd all been gone?
Yeah, all gone.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was 12 depots still available on this old line when I
Wow.
went to work.
That's all between Marietta and here, or Copper Hill and here?
Between Etowah and Atlanta, or
Etowah and
Marietta.
Atlanta, okay.
Etowah and Copper and Marietta.
Okay. What is it where it comes off the main line?
The first one was at Farner.
Okay.
Mr. Payne was the agent there. And then next one was Copper Hill, and Copper Hill was open 24 hours a day.
Well, acid business and
Mr.
copper business.
Mr. Studstill was the agent there. And then the next one was Blue Ridge. And then there was one at Mineral Bluff and one at Murphy, on the Murphy branch.
Okay.
And that and at Mineral Bluff was a brick building. That's the only one I ever know of on the L&N being a brick building.
Huh. It's still there, ain't it?
It's still there, yeah.
Yeah.
And
That was on that other line, that Murphy
yeah,
line.
That's right. Went off from Murphy Junction.
They always have a Y there?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it was there already when I went to
So
work.
north or southbound, you can
Right.
head on to Murphy. So you worked that a lot between
Yeah.
Etowah and Murphy?
Well, in Murphy, when you went out of Murphy, you went out of Blue Ridge.
Oh, okay.
That's where it originated.
All right. Now, did L&N go past Murphy, or that was
No,
it?
we connected with Southern there.
Okay. So you drop off for Southern.
There was an interchange with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you ever remember meet any of the Southern crews or anything like that?
No, they usually worked in daytime. We worked at night.
Okay.
What kind of cars were you giving the Southern, and what kind of cars were you getting from them?
Well, we got some pulpwood from them, and there was a pulpwood yard there that we switched there in Murphy too. I forgot that one. But yeah, we had a chip car come from Cocker Lumber Company there in LJ, and then just north of LJ there was a station called Jeanette, and we got a chip car there that went to paper company in Sylvia, North Carolina,
Okay.
through the Southern at Murphy.
What all they give to y'all to bring out?
Mainly pulpwood. And,
Okay.
yeah, it's mainly pulpwood.
And empties.
Yeah,
What,
we'd bring the empties, the chip car empties back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While I'm thinking about it, Harvey, because you mentioned pulpwood and all that stuff. Do you remember when they opened Bowater? Was that before your time on the railroad?
It was before my time on the railroad, but my brother-in-law worked on the maintenance way, and he helped build that track over through there.
Oh, okay. That connecting track leads
From Patty over to Calhoun.
Yeah.
From Patty to Calhoun.
What?
About 10 miles of it.
When did they do that? Do you remember?
That was in the mid-50s.
And did you ever work that job?
Oh, yeah. And that job worked 7 days a week.
Wow. What was the main what'd you bring out of not pulpwood?
Calhoun,
Yeah.
newsprint.
Newsprint. Okay. That's back when everybody read the newspaper.
Right. They don't have to read the newspaper anymore.
They don't even make newsprint out there anymore.
I don't think there's toilet paper, I think.
Toilet paper and paper towels, I think.
And you had to compete with the Southern for that traffic over there?
Yeah.
Did they win contracts over you guys a lot?
They done all the switching, and we had to pay for part of that switching because we did get some of the business. We had to
So
pay
they bring it out of the plant.
over to our
put it in
yard.
the yard.
Put it in our yard.
And was it that way before you retired?
Oh yeah, I didn't work it in the last several years before I retired.
I'm just curious about that because there's not a lot of history that people have written about the Bowater plant. There's only a couple articles that I found on it.
Wow.
Must have been a pretty big business
Oh, it was, yeah.
to build a 10-mile branch line. In what, 55 you said?
Yeah, somewhere in the mid-50s.
Well, that's when everybody read newspapers.
Right.
I remember my granddaddy, and dad, always had a newspaper coming in.
And they even had a piggyback ramp in our yard at one time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Now,
When they put the trailers with the wheels up on the cars.
what yard you talking about?
Calhoun yard.
Okay. Huh.
Never knew that.
Never knew they had piggyback on that line. So, did you ever run much north out of Etowah?
The only north out of Etowah, the only running I done was on the passenger train.
Passenger train, okay.
Yeah.
So everything else you ran around here, Murphy, Copper Hill,
South of Etowah.
Blue Ridge.
So Harvey, I'm going to jump back to the very beginning of your career just for a minute before I forget. I forgot 3 times already. When you first hired onto the railroad, do you remember the old guys talking about the steam locomotives?
Oh yeah, we had lots of engineers that were working out of the steam era.
What were some of the things that they would say about working on steam compared to working on diesel?
Biggest thing I remember hearing them say was talking about the engineers, the old engineers in the steam days wouldn't let the firemen run. So they wasn't really good engineers like the guys that learned under diesel engines. They were better engineers.
I asked you last time I interviewed you what your favorite locomotive was, and I'll ask you again, what's your favorite locomotive?
Well, I don't.
You told me, you said, any locomotive that has air conditioning.
Yeah, I didn't remember that.
What was the air conditioning like when you first hired on the railroad?
Well, they wasn't no air conditioning on them then. You just run with your windows open and your doors open sometimes in the summertime.
Did the L&N provide you with some water at that time?
Oh yeah, and what we had in the way of ice to keep the water cold was the big block ice, because it would last longer than the crushed finer ice. Yeah, them big blocks, you could put one of them big blocks in your caboose cooler and it'd last 2 or 3 days.
That's cool.
Now they didn't have the bottles of water. You just have a
No, had a container that had water in it.
canteen or whatever.
Yeah. It had a spigot
Yeah.
where you just take and
Cooler.
and I've got one of them. Frank Meistering gave me his engineer's cup. The L&N issued him cups, and it had L&N on it.
How be dang.
I've got one of them. Engineer that lived at Blue Ridge, they worked at Ball Ground turn. Talking Rock turn. Out of Blue Ridge. He lived right there in Blue Ridge.
Now, when you started, was Copper Hill still
Oh yeah.
cleared out, barren,
No,
and
no vegetation on it.
nothing would grow?
Desert land.
That was because of sulfuric acid years ago. It killed everything, wasn't it?
Yeah, just like the sulfur dioxide went up in the air. That's what they wasn't capturing it all to make
Right.
acid. If sulfur dioxide goes up in the air, and then it rained on that, and that created the acid.
That killed they cut all the trees down building the town and never grew back.
That's right. Yeah, they cut that timber down to smelt the ore, and then that didn't grow back. That's exactly what happened.
When did it start growing back?
After this company that's in charge of it over there now, what's it?
Glen Springs?
Glen Springs Holdings, yeah. After
They reforested everything around there.
yeah.
Because I remember we've had people on the train hadn't been to Copper Hill since they were young,
Right.
and they can't believe all the trees and everything has grown back just like anywhere else.
Right.
But they say when they were there, it was barren, just all dirt, like a moonscape.
Oh yeah. Oh
Harvey,
no.
you told me a story last time when I interviewed you about the fastest you've ever been on a freight train. Could you tell me that story again?
Oh, that was with engineer Bob Elliott.
He killed
No.
Bill Elliott.
No, but
Fast.
his brother was a road foreman though.
Well, that helps if you can go fast.
But that was north of Ocoee. And we got up to 86 miles an hour down through there.
What was the speed limit?
50.
What kind of a train was it? Was it
It
just...
was a mixed freight.
Just slop freight.
Did you have a caboose back then?
Oh yeah.
What were the guys in the caboose thinking?
I don't have no idea. I was on the engine with the engineer.
How'd y'all get away with that? Did he just say, let's see
Well,
how fast we can go?
Back then, I guess they just wasn't checking on us.
He had time to make. He made up time for something.
Yeah.
Wow. And another thing I wanted to ask you about is locomotives. What kind of locomotives were on the railroad when you first started, and what were your favorites?
Well, those A units, we used a lot of them.
The old F units.
Yeah, the old F units.
Streamline.
Yeah.
Did you like the F units, or were they a pain to switch with?
No, they were good.
Just use your mirrors. Go ahead, Robert. I'll let you take it back to the old line.
Well, once they phased out those F units, they brought in all them Jeeps, I guess.
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah. Of course, they were more horsepower,
Yeah.
so you could pull more with them. But them A units and the equivalent horsepower engines were rated on this old line about 900 tons each.
Okay. But when they started replacing them with the
With the
Jeeps
more,
and the-
more horsepower, they could use less engines.
right.
Where most of the time with them older engines, we had 4 of them
Mm-hmm.
units over here. Then we cut down to about 3.
You ever remember any of those Alcos?
Oh yeah, I remember them. What you remember about them is the 6 axles.
Okay.
They give so much trouble.
Okay.
The 4 axle Alcos didn't give you that much trouble. But them
They run 6 axles. They wouldn't run them through the loop, would they?
oh no, they didn't run 6 axles over here. They went down the new line.
Just okay.
Now, if you could, Harvey, could you explain the difference between the new line and the old line? What obviously the new line is the new line, but when did that open and why did they replace this?
Yeah, this old line was completed in 1890, and it was supposed to be a straight shot to Atlanta from Knoxville, where cars before were going through Chattanooga to get to Atlanta from Knoxville, and getting delayed there in Chattanooga. Well, as a result of the way they built this track up there with them switchbacks at the loop instead of the loop, They built the switchbacks.
That's before the loop, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was before the loop. That slowed the train down so much that people went back shipping through Knoxville, from Knoxville to Chattanooga.
Chattanooga.
Yeah. And it wound up around the turn of the century, somewhere 1897 to that, somewhere in that area, they built the loop and to replace the switchbacks, and it speeded up the trains a whole lot. And then this new line over here was completed in 1906. That's when they come up out of Cartersville, built 89 miles of track to Etowah.
Why did they build the new one? They had this one.
But that was a better way to get traffic.
Didn't have no hills, not as many mountains and curves.
And a shorter distance.
Shorter distance, okay.
Yeah. From Etowah to Atlanta down the new line's only 130 miles. And down this way it's 144 miles just to Marietta.
Wow.
And then you got the rest of that on into Atlanta. But it wound up this local freight business over here on this old line was all it wound up doing.
Right.
Just handling local freight. And it was quite busy. Quite a bit of business.
So you had Copper Hill, you had the copper ore, the sulfuric acid, any other products around? They run in and out of there?
Yeah, the iron center.
Okay.
And when we get there to switch them iron center cars, they'd still be hot.
Wow.
That was okay in the wintertime.
Kept you warm.
Kept you warm, yeah.
All right. So it was pretty hopping place, pretty busy place there.
Man. Yeah, that place, like I said earlier, that depot was open 24 hours a day.
When did all that start slowing down?
In the 90s, in the early 90s. But they quit mining ore in 1987. And what they was doing then is shipping in the sulfur to make the acid.
Okay.
They said 1 car of sulfur would make 3 cars of acid.
Wow. But they kept that acid production going longer than the copper ore was mined.
Right.
So that was more bigger business, I guess.
Oh yeah.
All right.
They say that there's more sulfuric acid used in other businesses than any other product.
Wow. Did you ever have any derailments?
Oh yeah. Hey, the only time I ever seen a wheel come loose from my axle was there at Turtletown. We had a wreck there one day coming north, and wound up one of the wheels had come off the axle. Went to the inside, let it derail.
Bearing, overheated bearing?
No,
it just broke?
No, it didn't break. It just come off the axle. They're pressed on. The wheel.
Right.
The wheel's pressed on with 50,000 pounds of pressure.
So
Something happened.
Wow.
I've always wondered if they have anything they put on that axle that makes it stay on there better, and maybe somebody missed one and didn't get the whatever it was,
like a seal or
a coating,
yeah,
a coating of whatever they used.
It didn't work though, did it? Wasn't good for you.
I've always figured that somebody left it off.
Yep.
Just missed it.
Could be.
Because people do make mistakes, you know.
When you were on this line, wasn't nothing at McFarland. What about on down? Was anything there at Appalachia or Appalachia Siding or anything?
No, there wasn't any businesses there or anything.
Okay.
And
nothing till you got to Farner.
Right. And we had a wood yard at Turtletown.
Yep.
You
pointed that out to us.
Yeah.
Too. That's interesting because there ain't nothing but a forest there now. When you got to Copper Hill, I guess the products out of Copper Hill went both ways, north and south?
No, mainly north.
Mainly north? Okay.
Yeah.
So the acid went mainly north.
If it had been a better track like the new line, they'd have probably sent some of it south to Atlanta. But it was
So
The track wasn't justified to handle it.
Okay. They wouldn't put no acid cars on the ground.
No. They kept this little track here from Copper Hill North in a lot better shape.
Okay. It's kind of like now, down below Blue Ridge, between Blue Ridge and I guess L&J, they don't run nothing anymore.
No.
But you worked that section though too.
Oh yeah. That was the job out of Blue Ridge. But it was the hardest job to hold. Took more seniority to hold that job than any other job on the old line.
Why was that?
Because it's just a good job.
Good job. All right. Now,
Made a lot of overtime.
in your career, did you ever save a life?
Oh yeah.
Tell us about that.
We was approaching Ball Ground, Georgia one day in it was in May of '69, and we spotted this guy laying on the track. Of course, it was a place where we slowed down anyway and stopped. Of course, the engineer shot the brakes, put the brakes in emergency.
Right.
And I'd always thought that I'd try to save anybody if I could, something like that. Situation. I got off and I wasn't gaining on the train there to start with, but there was a grab iron on the side of the engine there, and I boosted myself with that, and I began to gain on the train then. And when I got to the guy, I just got a hold of his clothes and rolled away from the train myself.
Wow.
Pulled him off. And he never did wake up. We just assumed he was passed out drunk. And then when the other crew went up there to get the train to go on down to Atlanta, they said he was done gone, and he wasn't there.
He sure owed you a big thank you. So that track practice you had in high school come in handy.
Yeah. Well, when I was in the Army down in Columbus, Georgia, we went to the grocery store one evening late, and there's a car with a kid in it. Started rolling out of the parking lot, and I run and got in the car and stopped it.
Wow.
Somebody went in to get some groceries and left that kid in the car.
He knocked out a gear, knocked it in neutral off, he went.
Right.
Goodness. Well, you've been important to a couple of folks there.
Yeah.
Good deal.
I got one. Harvey Patrick wanted me to ask you about the time you were left behind in Copper Hill.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Tell me about that.
I had Earl Williams with me. He was the engineer, and Reuben Brackett, and it was a Saturday night run, and we had to go over and get the engines. They were on the team track, and got the train together and everything. And Reuben had brought his wife with him to ride the train. So, and there was a lot of traffic on the radio that night. And I told them just to ease by and I'd catch a caboose when we got everything ready to go. And they got so fast I couldn't get on. So I was telling them to stop, and they never did stop.
Never heard you.
No, they wouldn't admit it, but they probably got up there. There's so much noise on the radio, where they could talk. They cut the knob down, the volume down, and I even went in the yard office and called the dispatcher and told him to holler at him, and he tried it and he couldn't get them either.
So what'd you do?
So I just thought, well, there's probably a taxi out here at the grocery store, that IGA store out there. So I went out there, and sure enough, there was one out there. He charged me $7 to take me to Blue Ridge. And I got there before the train got there. I was standing at the depot waiting on them.
What was his reaction like?
Oh, it was comical.
So you were standing at the depot when they come in.
Yeah.
He seen you. What did he say?
I don't remember what they said, but they were amazed.
They thought you was on the back on the caboose all the time.
Yeah.
It's probably like seeing a ghost.
Yeah. What's he doing there?
Were you mad? Were you
Oh
just-
no.
That's what conductors do. You solve the problem.
Exactly right.
Harvey solved the problem.
I didn't get no offers on having me pay the money though.
How about to say they pay you back for the taxi ride?
No. I didn't even offer.
Wow.
That's terrible. They should have paid for that.
$7 is a lot of money back then. wasn't it?
Exactly right.
When about was that? Was that in the 60s or 70s?
It would have been in the. It would have been in the. It would have been had to been after '72 because I wasn't promoted to conductor in '72, so it'd have to be later than that. But I don't remember exactly when it was. I made that first trip on my as conductor December the 23rd, 1972, on a Harley coal train. Me and Leonard Culpepper was the engineer. I don't remember the rest of the crew.
That wasn't a bad Christmas present, was it?
No, it wasn't.
Harvey, what was the L&N like working for? Were they a good company?
Oh yeah. In fact, in 1970, there's the biggest railroad in America, mileage-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Over 8,000 miles of main line.
They treat their employees well?
Oh yeah.
Now, you've ridden on some of the original track here after you retired. Where was that?
Oh, that was in Kentucky, between New Haven and Boston, Kentucky.
Mhm.
I rode on an excursion train like this up there. Me and my youngest daughter. She took me up there and we rode it. It was the first track that the L&N run a train on in 1850,
Wow.
the Lebanon branch.
Okay.
And then, of course, I've worked on the track where the Great Locomotive Chase took place in the Civil War, too. Worked passenger train and freight trains.
Okay. You ever see that monument right by the side of the tracks there?
At Copper Hill?
No, on the W&A.
Oh, no, I hadn't seen that.
Yeah, they got one out there about the Andrews Raiders.
Oh,
Where the general run out of steam.
oh, okay.
I didn't know if you'd seen that or not.
No, I hadn't.
I think they made that in the NC and Sandell shops back in the 30s maybe. But it's still there. Ain't nobody
Yeah.
took it down yet. When you worked that line, what was some of the, on the freight end, what did you just do the run-through freights?
No, we had Stylesboro steam plant there at
Okay.
Carterville.
A lot of coal come in and out of there.
we started
going in there.
We started hauling coal there in 1970,
Okay.
and we had 70 cars, coal trains went in there.
Wow.
And you just pull across this trestle, and the car had little shoe-like thing on the side of it. They'd touch a little rail, and it was electrical charged, and they'd open up the doors
Open up the doors.
Yeah, you go down a little further, and they'd close them back up.
Wow.
And that operating them doors, it was it was your air pressure on the engine, the
Okay.
120-pound main reservoir.
How long did it take to dump a 70-car coal train?
About 20 minutes.
Well, that's not bad at all. And so once there's a big balloon loop through there?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And it
Still
was
there, I reckon.
yeah, it's still there. We still haul coal to them occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Robert. My bad. I was gonna ask. Well, do you want to ask your question?
Oh, go ahead.
What was when in the 70s? You know, you had the family line system.
Yeah.
What was that all about?
Well, that was just all the different railroads going together and working. They just like the L&N already owned the NC and St. L before they merged with them, and ACL and owned the L&N, but they let them operate as an independent railroad.
Did much change when they started doing the family lines thing, or was that just a marketing thing?
I think it was just a marketing thing. I never did really know for sure.
So it was still a pretty good job. Everybody treated everybody
Yeah,
good.
yeah. It really didn't get bad till after it becomes CSX.
You probably met these fellas. They were out of Halsey Yard.
Oh yeah, that was Georgia Road.
Yeah, but I remember right after the merger, they had ball caps. They said same circus, or no, different circus, same clowns. CSX Railroad.
Yeah.
Those guys had so much seniority, nobody touched them, I don't think.
All right.
But they ride with us on the New Georgia.
Yeah.
When that was running.
That was the New Georgia one that run around Atlanta.
Yeah, we had A&W 290 finally, but started out with Savannah, Atlanta 750.
Oh yeah.
But also had two of the E8s. We had old Southern.
Yeah.
And we had an old New York Central that they repainted as the New Georgia. But they numbered it right after. We had 6901, one of those big E8s.
Yeah.
So they named that one, numbered it 6902. So everybody thought it was a Southern engine. I said, no, it's a New York Central engine, I think. But it came to us from New Jersey Transit.
Oh, okay.
Apparently their electricians weren't the sharpest guys, because I was helping one of our electrician at the New Georgia.
Yeah, we had a guy that was an engineer that quit and went up in there to work on the transit railroads up there.
Oh, okay. The commuter lines?
Robert Head out of Blue Ridge.
Okay.
So tell me a little bit about CSX. What was all the buzz in the industry at that time?
There wasn't that much difference in working for L&N other than they just kind of made it more restrict, you know. Had more officials out checking you, a lot more.
Banner testing?
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Did you ever have any crazy experiences getting banner tested? I've heard all sorts of funny stories from railroaders about where these train masters hide. Nothing bad?
Nothing bad, no.
That's good. That's good. Sounds like the railroad management back then was a little more honest.
Oh, yeah.
So CSX wasn't much different, and then in the 80s they were more strict. Did you notice any major changes here on the old line in the 80s, or was it just same old until...
It's same old, same old.
And then the copper plant shut down in 87.
Yeah. Well, no, that's when they stopped mining in 87. They were still processing the sulfur and making the acid.
So, could you guys, just for me, how does the sulfur and the copper go together? Is the sulfur
when you mine the copper ore, it has a certain amount of sulfur in it, and when you're smelting the ore, then it burns this sulfur, and they catch the fumes of that sulfur and mix it with water, and that creates sulfuric acid.
And what do they use it for?
It's used for it's used more than any other.
Lots of industrial purposes.
Yeah, more than any other item.
So they stopped mining copper, but how are they able to make the acid?
They shipped in the sulfur in tank cars.
So it just became a processing plant.
Yes.
At that point.
Right.
There was nothing there they needed to make it. They brought in the raw sulfur, shipped out sulfuric acid.
So you had tanks that you'd bring in that had gas, and then they would pump the gas out and turn it into the liquid.
No, it was just a yellow molten stuff. It was in a liquid form in the tank car. So they just had to pump it out and pump it into the furnace, I guess, and burn it.
Process it.
And then they captured them fumes. I don't know what kind of process you'd do that to mix it with water.
Did Copper Hill smell bad?
Oh yeah.
Tell me about that. What was that like?
Well, of course, it was because of the sulfur.
Smelled like rotten egg.
Yeah.
So Copper Hill really wasn't a great place to live for a long time, was it?
I'd say it wasn't.
When did it become a tourist destination?
Well, I'm not sure about that, except maybe the 90s.
I don't know, whenever they started that Blue Ridge train, probably.
Yeah, they probably started it before they did. He's over here.
So did they start that train when CSX was still going to Copper Hill?
They
When did
didn't.
that all happen?
The Blue Ridge train? No, it was after the railroad shut down.
Got it. So like 2000s, late
Yeah,
90s, something
yeah.
like that? Okay. So in the 90s, when all that sulfuric acid and all that stuff was going on, was the writing on the wall? Did you guys kind of know that this probably isn't going to last?
Oh yeah.
Tell me about that.
Well, of course, the crews that worked the train, they usually just, it took seniority to hold the jobs, even when it slowed down. It still took a lot of seniority to work the job. And like I said, I was the only one. I was able to hold the night job as conductor, but I was never able to hold the day job as conductor till it was cut off.
When they cut everything off.
In '99, I think it was, somewhere around that.
You said business really didn't go down until the 90s, but I wanted to talk a little bit about excursions on this line, because from what I understand, it was Family Lines or Seaboard System that ran some colored trips on this line.
Yeah, it was 1986.
So it was CSX then.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
They had borrowed about 12 or 15 cars from the museum in Memphis. And there's 4 or 5 of the people that worked out there in the museum come with the cars. And it was in the newspaper in Chattanooga had a full section of the printing about the different excursion trains all around from down there and up here, and had pictures of scenery and pictures of trains. And I was the only person that was pictured in it.
And did you work the excursion train?
Oh yeah.
What were you doing?
I actually got paid to do that.
So you were conductor on the
No, I was flagman.
flagman. Okay.
That was still before I was promoted conductor.
Okay.
And I was never passenger conductor anyway. I was just freight conductor.
I got you.
Tell me what a flagman does.
Well, a flagman, of course, does anything the conductor tells him to do. Of course.
You did a little more than flagging crossings.
But for flagging a following train, you go back about a quarter of a mile and put you down 1 torpedo. Then you go on back about a mile and put down 2 torpedoes. And you come back to your 1 torpedo, and then when your train gets ready to leave, you take your 1 torpedo up and put you down a 10-minute fusee, a burning. And when the train comes up on the burning fusee, it has to stop and let the fusee burn out, then proceed at restricted speed.
That was so you didn't rear end each other.
Right, and of course he would proceed at restricted speed till he's got a signal to either yellow or green.
Green proceed.
Yeah.
So were you 5-man crews back then?
Usually it's 4, but sometimes just 5 when there was a fireman.
When did they start cutting crew size?
That was in the 80s too.
When did all the other businesses stop shipping? Toward the end it was just the copper sulfuric acid, but was it in the 80s that all those you said paper and pulp and all that stuff, that lumberyard, all that died off?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So in the 90s it was just the sulfuric acid, right?
Right.
Got it. So when they shut this down in 99, is that why you retired, or when did you end up retiring? Did you
I
retire
retired in '99.
just before or after?
I retired in July of '99, so I don't remember exactly when they shut down. But I just retired when I got 62. I had 34 years service.
Now, go ahead, Robert. You go ahead.
Pretty good pension.
Oh yeah.
That was actually my next question.
I bet it was. I'm not going to ask you how much. That'd be rude. But I bet it's good.
I don't care to tell you. I draw $3,700 a month.
That's not bad. Pension. So how many years do you have in total?
34.
34? Wow.
Yeah, I can save a couple of $1,000s out of that a month. It don't take much me to live on, because I don't owe nothing.
Your house paid off.
Oh, yeah.
Been paid off for a long time, I bet.
Yeah, I paid it off in the 90s.
That's awesome, Harvey. I love that. So, do you have any advice for someone wanting to go work for the railroad today? I know it's so different from when you retired, but you think it's a good
I
job?
think it's still a good job and pays good. And if you didn't know the difference like we did, it wouldn't matter anyway, because you got to do it however the employer wants it done. And if you can accept that, then you make it all right on the job.
So basically, if you don't know what the good old days are like, you'll be okay.
That's right. That's right.
I try to tell all them youngins who want to get on with the big railroad, I said, don't get married for a while.
Right. Because they'll move you around.
So Harvey, in 2001, the Overhill saved this railroad. They were going to abandon it. Do you remember them talking about abandoning it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
How'd that make you feel?
Well, I'm glad Glen Springs didn't let them abandon it.
What's the story there, Robert?
My understanding is Caldwell.
Jim Caldwell.
Jim, what was his wife's name?
Linda.
Linda was helped on these charters,
She was over the Tennessee Overhill.
Right. She got as director of Tennessee Overhill, and she rode these charters through there before, when it was still, before it was CSX and even during CSX. And she remembered how pretty it was. So when she got director of Tennessee Overhill Association, that's when the line got cut off. Glen Springs bought it, and she talked them into putting Overhill Association on the deed as part owners, so they could find a railroad museum or whatever to run tourist trains. So the first ones we ran through TVRM was in '04, and that was just up to the powerhouse.
Right.
And that was because in '03, TVA paid to have it from the junction up to the powerhouse restored. Several hundred cross ties. They just need to get up there, because the old turbines and generators that were put there in '43, it was time to replace them. So once they got the new ones in and the old ones out, that's when Linda stepped in, got the line, got the Overhill Association on the deed, and in '04 we ran Powerhouse Specials.
Now, what was Glen Springs like? Why did they buy it? Was it more just public good, or?
No, they bought it to make money because they thought they was going to be able to sell all that iron ore. Now, you have to go back over the years. When they get to a seam of iron ore, they had to take it out to get to the copper ore. So they bring the iron ore out and they just put it around. That iron ore we don't need here in America. We got better quality iron ore up in Minnesota and all the mines up in there. So they found a buyer for that iron ore, and everybody's wheels started turning. Well, we could sell that iron ore. We can make some money, ship that iron ore out of Copper Hill, let CSX take it wherever, put it on a boat, ship it to China. Because China has no natural source of iron ore. Now, she had arranged it, and they were the ones that come up with the buyers for the iron ore. And so the first iron ore trains, gosh, we leased locomotives on I think a 2 or 3 year lease, because we thought we'd be running it for a while. And then you learn a lot from foreign companies. They do business a lot different than we do. So even though we'd signed a contract, move all that iron ore out, several months into the first contract, I think it was 8 months, I'm not positive, they canceled it. Said, don't send us anymore. Well, the Chinese don't honor anybody's contract, so we cancel. So the GMTX, the locomotive leasing company, they understood what was going on, and they took the locomotives back that we had leased on a longer lease. But then when we started running the pasture train, we brought TVRM's equipment over. So that was just for those the powerhouse trips. Then we started, let's see, I guess we run all the way to Farner and Copper Hill when we started. They had already fixed the tracks down to Copper Hill.
Yeah.
And the first year we did that, we had to borrow a locomotive from C&C over there on the other, where we go down to Somerville and all that. So we had the NC and St. L710 we had just restored then on one end, and a CNC whatever on the other end. And so we did a push-pull. But eventually we figured out we just use one engine on the lighter trains and two on the heavier trains. But then as the locomotive diesels got older, we realized we need to run two on each train. One of them's liable to say you don't want to run.
Right.
And that was last year we started that. But Harvey come up and helped. I remember Harvey when I first started.
Yeah.
Now you missed a few years taking care of your wife, I think.
Right.
Right there at the very first.
Well, me and her would go off and ride other trains,
Okay.
Yeah. Till she got sick and couldn't go.
Right. And you had to stay home with her.
Right.
But when he come back to us, I had a good talking to by the three daughters. They said, "You better take care of Daddy." And we did. And at that time, Harvey was, we told him, "You do what you want." So he'd step off either in Farner or Copper Hill, catch that angle cock on the back of the train, get back on, and then he'd help us set handbrakes or whatever. But I think his daughters talked him into.
Yeah, I hadn't made any of the long trips this year.
But that's fine. You helped us out for a long time, and he's got his routine going through the he gets them passengers, he'll get their attention. Well, fix me if I tell it wrong. He'll tell them, "Has anybody lost $100 bill with a rubber band around it?" Somebody go, "Yeah, I did." He said, "Well, here's your rubber band." So he's got his regular routine, and we're like, "You have it. You do whatever you want on this train, Mr. Blassigame."
Then I tell them after we come back down the loop, I said, "We got to unloop you."
Why's that?
We looped you going up the mountain, we got to unloop you coming back down, so you won't go home looped.
Can't get looped on here. That's a Rule G violation back then.
Oh, speaking of which, was there a lot of drinking on the railroad when you hired on?
There was a little, but not a whole lot.
Mostly responsible?
Yeah.
So, Harvey, I was going to ask, so did you start volunteering right when those Appalachia Powerhouse trips started running?
No, it was a little bit after
It was
that.
a little after that, yeah. We had already been running for a couple of years, Loop and Copper Hill.
Why'd you want to get involved again, Harvey?
It's because I enjoyed it.
You like trains a little bit, don't you?
I like trains a little bit.
But we appreciate him coming up because, like you've heard, he remembers all that stuff about this line.
In May of 2018, I put that model train in the car 3. And
Wasn't that a convention? There was a convention or something?
Model Train Association convention, and they rode a train in June, and Robert suggested I put that train in a model train back there in. He kind of made it like a challenge, So I put her in. Of course, I had some help.
You had Andy.
Andy Reed.
Good kid.
Oh yeah.
And Andy did all the climbing and building and all that. And,
He was a tall guy.
yeah, real tall. But that's been a highlight. A lot of kids love to see that train run.
Oh yeah.
Now he'll change it out sometimes.
I've done got the Christmas train in.
All right, that was my next question. You got your Christmas train set up yet?
Yeah.
Well, good.
That's probably the only model train that's on a train in the country, in the world.
I'm about to say, I don't know how you would approach the Guinness World Book of Records, but if that train wasn't enough, I figured we'd put a little Z-scale train inside of that one, go back and forth. That way you have train inside of a train inside of a train. But I don't know.
Yeah, I've got a couple of coaches that go with that train that I could put on the train.
Yeah.
But I leave them off because of the Christmas stuff.
Yeah.
But they're decorated for Christmas.
For some reason, he loves to put the circus train up here. I don't know if that says something about us or not.
Harvey, what's it like working with Robert?
Oh, it's very, very good. Very good.
Keep you on your toes?
Oh yeah.
Now, as far as I know, you two are a little bit of a musical pair. So tell me about the music on the train.
Well, first I'll come through the train playing the banjo. And I started that years ago just out of boredom. Because we didn't do it. PW had done all the narration, and he didn't do a whole lot coming back down. He'd do some through the loop, and then coming back down, we just kind of got bored. So I brought it on board one day, started doing a little musical, just do a few songs in each car. Then you come in.
Yeah, I decided I'd do it, and I never had sang a song in public, a solo, you know. But I learned this song from my daddy.
And what song is that?
Well, I can't think of it right now.
Wigwam.
Wing wang.
Wing wang waddle.
Wing wang waddle.
And how does it go, Harvey?
Well, I started out trading with an old gray mare. Rode that thing from fair to fair. Come a wing wang waddle from a jack straddle. John Fairfaddle come a long ways home.
All right.
There we go.
So what he does is
That's just one verse.
he tells them, that boy on the banjo, he don't know that song, but I'm gonna sing it for you. I'd never heard it before till he sang it.
Now, Harvey, you said there was something special about that song. How it was an old song.
Well, Patrick said it was come out of England in 1394,
Oh, wow.
and it was the first song recorded on a recording device.
Huh.
So your daddy used to sing that when you were a kid.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. So Robert brings the best out of you musically. What's y'all's favorite part of being on the train?
Being with the people.
Yeah. Like my grandfather told me growing up, son, you come from a long line of great conversationalists. So I guess he knew back then I was going to talk folks' ears off. But I enjoy, like he said, just dealing with the pastures. You meet so many people from so many different places.
And we have people ride the train that's all over the world.
Yeah. Now what I like is if we'll somebody, where were they from last week?
From Australia.
Australia.
They was visiting somebody in Knoxville, and the people in Knoxville brought them down here to ride the train.
So we are world famous. Now Harvey, he'll treat them right. He'll give them one of the little books about the old line, the books that are printed out of the Overhill Association, and he'll give it to them. So we just write that off. If they're gonna come from another country and ride our train, we sure are proud of that. And Harvey just makes them welcome as can be.
And before my name was Blassigame, I had a French name, and we left France because of religious persecution and went to England, and the economy got bad, and we couldn't get a job, so we had to change names. We changed our name to Blassigame, an English name where we could get a job. And we had some people on the train one day that were from England, had a couple of families, and they had been out on the island where we were actually from, there off the coast of France.
Oh wow! Do you remember your French name?
I've got it in my pocket.
But
I can't.
don't worry about it.
It starts with a J, but I don't.
Okay.
I asked Sebastian how to pronounce it. He told me one day, but I can't remember what it was.
Sebastian's one of our volunteer engineers.
He's a French.
Lives in the Metro Atlanta area, drives all the way up here just to run the train. He was born and raised in France. So, and he married an American woman, so they live down around Lawrenceville, I think, somewhere, but he still speaks fluent French. So when we got that Canadian car, we had to get him to translate, make sure everything was right in the English. But he's a pretty good engineer, I reckon.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I enjoy riding with him. That's another good thing about up here. Besides just me and Harvey, everybody likes to work together. To me, it's like the old railroad, like when he worked there.
Right.
It was family.
Right.
And so I try to emphasize the family end of it. And Harvey knows all he's got to do is call one of us. We'll come and run if he needs anything.
Right.
That's really cool. And Robert, tell me a little bit about that train station y'all have where people get on. What's it called, and why did it get that name?
Let's go back to the history. When we first started, Etowah wanted everybody to come to Etowah, so they parked in town and they rode old school buses out to the train right here at G Creek. And the school bus drop them off, we'd board here at G Creek. Well, in 2020, COVID hit. We couldn't fit enough people on. We didn't have to hire too many school buses. So we made the decision. We had bought that land up there where it is now. Go ahead and make that a parking lot. We built initially just the one ramp, then we built the south ramp. And we had people during COVID come and park near the train. Well, that worked out so well because one of our main complaints that passengers had was those hot school buses during the summertime. Well, this way they stay in their air-conditioned cars, park right by the train, walk on, and they're in their air-conditioned train. So that's worked out well. So we got to where, let's see, we try to do things for Harvey. One birthday, we got him his own G-scale caboose.
Yeah.
Got his name under the window, Harvey Blassingame. That's his caboose. And so we got to thinking, what else could we do to honor him? I said, let's name the station here. One day we might get a building here. Well, let's go ahead and name this Blassigame Station. So right after COVID, about 3 years ago?
Yeah.
We named it Blassigame Station. So we had the signs made out for it. Now typically the railroad only puts the name on it. But since so many people aren't familiar with railroad policy, we added STA, so it says Blassigame Station. And so we had all his family up here, his daughters come up here, and we unveiled those signs that said Blassigame Station.
Yeah.
In his honor, because he's helped us out so much for so long.
Harvey, what did that feel like when they did that?
Oh, it's a wonderful feeling. Yeah.
You didn't have
And
any idea, did you?
No. And that caboose they bought me on my 81st birthday, it's the only one like it in the entire world.
We had it custom painted. Model Railroader painted that thing just the way it is, just for Harvey.
Ain't another like it in the entire world.
Nope.
Because it's got my name on it.
But hopefully one day we'll get us a real depot up there and we'll put Blassigame on each end as railroad. Plus it's railroad tradition to name stations or control points after people that had worked for the railroad. So what better could you do since he worked this line for L&N, Seaboard, and CSX? He's probably the most senior man alive on this line. So we really happy to name it for him.
They still 3 or 4 of them alive that's older than me.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Well, you go to all the
Well, they're older.
reunions or what?
They're older than me in seniority,
Okay.
but not necessarily older than me in age.
Okay. Y'all have regular meeting reunions?
Yeah, at Gondolier in Athens.
Okay. And that's all the folks that
That's
work
the
around?
second Thursday in the month.
That'd be a good place to take a camera, get
Yeah.
other stories.
Yeah, it would
Maybe
be.
some stories about you.
Some Italian food and train stories. Sounds like a wedding
Yeah,
to me.
we meet there at lunch, about 12 or 12:30, in that south room there, at Gondolier. That's where we meet there.
Well, that sounds like a great time. Great time.
Now, we've had other folks that were like Harvey, had worked this line, that have passed on, and one of them was P.W. Jones. Now,
And this-
P.W. and Harvey probably crossed paths a lot
A lot,
in
yeah.
their career.
Oh, yeah.
P.W. was track man. He was track supervisor, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Track team. And so they would pass each other. Well, when we started this train, P.W. come on board just about day one, and he told us, he said, if y'all get speakers fixed up, I'll give a good narration. So we got a speaker system run through the train and give him the microphone. Now, back then, we didn't have the car we got now. We had the 661 out of Chattanooga. And one of the restrooms, we had discontinued use as a restroom, and it was our store. Now, you can imagine that the lounge of a restroom doesn't make much of a store. I think we probably only sold about 12 different snacks and 4 different brands of Coca-Cola or whatever. But we had that transmitter in there, that PA system, and PW would sit out in the hall on a stool looking out the window, and he'd narrate everything along the line. I mean, he literally knew every foot of track
Oh, yeah.
that we traveled because he was track man. Another guy, Jim Hunt.
Yeah,
He
Jim.
was engineer, wasn't
Yeah, he was.
he had volunteered for TVRM, and he was one of the engineers on the very first ones. Was he still qualified?
Yeah, he was still running on the.
Yeah, he was still running. Now, he mostly ran, he had no seniority. He ran the big fast freights over on the old new line.
On the.
He'd come up here and help us since he was still qualified, and he'd be our engineer for the first, at least those powerhouse trips. I definitely remember him on those.
Oh, yeah.
Then when he kind of backed off, what was he in, a gospel band?
Yeah, he played the drums in a band.
Drummer. He went and did that, and that's when we started regular operations in 06, they hired on Mike Little Sr. Mike was our regular engineer then, and he had qualified with CSX, so he could take the ore trains all the way up to at least County Line Road. CSX crews would pick them up there.
Little was down here Monday.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
doing
still,
something to the engine.
yeah, he's still kind of a locomotive repair contractor.
Yeah.
But he too backed off. His grandkids were growing up too quick, so he's just part-time here. His son is our track repair director, Mike Little Jr. But technically he's not a junior, but he grew up being called Mike, so Big Mike and Little Mike.
So Harvey, you're really the last of a generation.
Oh, yeah.
When we first started running, we would sell tickets out of the depot there in Etowah. And the gal in charge was Kathy
Taylor.
And her husband,
Elmer. He was conductor out here.
Yeah. So she was in the office one day, and we'd been several trips. I said, Kathy, why don't you and your husband come up and ride? She said, Lord, he rode for 41 years. He don't ever want to ride another train again. So, it's odd to see, and I understand that, especially from my former career. I don't ever want to ride another fire truck again. But anyway, it was really good. Harvey did want to come back because, like I tell everybody, he's a true railroader at heart. He loved the railroad. He did a great job when he was there, and he's still riding. Can't beat that, can you?
No, you can't.
It's in the blood, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Now, Harvey, you're a Christian man. You think there'll be trains in heaven?
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't think there will be.
I think there will be. Could you imagine this life without trains? I can't.
Well, if there are, God's got his own collection of PS4s and what was the big L&N Emma? Big Emma?
Big Emma,
He's
yeah.
got one of those out there somewhere.
Maybe he's got an A unit out there for you, Harvey.
He might. He might have one of those old.
I think it'll all be about enjoying being with Christ.
There you go.
Amen.
Amen. Now Harvey will do Bible trivia through the cars, and I'm good with that. But I got him one time.
Yeah.
I said, Harvey, you know what Jesus and the disciples ride around in? He said, no. I said, a Honda, because they're all in one accord. I asked him again. I said, you know what God's first name is? He said, he got no first name. I said, yeah, he does. Andy. Andy walks with me. Andy talks with me.
Harvey, what's your favorite gospel song?
I hadn't really thought about that.
Mine's Mansion Over a Hilltop.
That's a good one.
I kind of like Robert's song.
I'll fly away.
I'll fly away.
That's one you play on the train?
That's one I play on the train. Normally, if it's a full train, I only get 3 in per car. First song, you gotta remember some of these riders are from not around here, so they don't know the area. So I start playing dueling banjos from the movie Deliverance, and you'll see those couples from up north. The guy will say, "Oh, Martha, this looks just like that movie with Burt Reynolds in it." None of that movie was filmed on the Hiwassee River.
And Robert, for us youngins who've never seen the movie, what happens in that movie?
It's not a good movie to represent people in the South.
No, it's not.
They make up things about what us rural people do. And it was not, I remember when it came out, had Burt Reynolds in it, I wanted to go see it. Mom said, absolutely not. There are some very questionable scenes there.
Yeah.
And we ain't going to talk about what they are.
And
But it does not portray rural people in the South very nicely. However, those of those who grow up here, we know good and well. I don't care how lost you are. If you stop, walk up that dirt driveway, they're going to be nice to you. So the other song I played was my grandmother's favorite, I'll Fly Away. When I first got my banjo, she loved for me to come down and bring it down, play for her. We sit on the front porch of the old family home place. And then, of course, the last one I have to follow up, since we're in Tennessee, is Rocky Top.
But that I'll Fly Away, that's actually in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
It's in 90th Psalm, 10th verse, the last phrase of the verse, that we'll fly away, where it talks about our age.
Well, that's my light telling me that it's almost dead. We got a couple more minutes to go. Robert, before we close, I'm gonna pause it just.
You running?
Yep.
Harvey, you have no idea how much we appreciate you coming up here. You have been our hero.
I appreciate y'all.
Some of them's grandpa, some of our dads. And we appreciate you sharing everything that you share with the.
I've enjoyed doing it.
Well, we sure appreciate you doing it. You've been a good influence. You've been a lot of the younger boys.
Thank you.
They see how you do. Man did his job. Nothing else. No whining, no complaining, right?
Right.
But we do appreciate what you've come up.
Well, thank you.
And rode with us and have taught us.
There was a lady on the train the other day on Sunday, Miss Taylor. No, Miss White. Miss White. She used to work in the gift shop up there at the depot. And she just told me how she enjoyed seeing me again, you know.
Well, we appreciate you and thank you for sharing your stories with us.
Glad to do it.
This is wonderful. I know a lot of young men like myself look up to you, like Robert said. You know, I know Travis. Gordon, he talks really highly of you all the time.
I know a lot of his family,
Yeah, yeah. He said that he
his
really
mother's
looked up to
family.
you.
Yeah.
Now, this ain't the only train for TVRM he's ridden before. Years ago, when we gussied up 4501 that looked like a L&N engine, he rode that special.
That was in the 2019.
19, yeah. He rode that special because
And that's a picture of that right
Yeah.
back there.
that's it. And so after the special, we had a night photo deal going. So he liked one of the night shots of it, so I blew it up 16 by 20. I guess it's still hanging in your house
It is.
somewhere.
Yeah.
But he was able to share his L&N knowledge with L&N fans on that trip.
And I've done told my kids if they build a building up here, that I want that picture to go in that building.
Okay, that's not a problem. We will make sure that happens. When they're gonna build a building, I have no idea, but
Well,
You
it
never
might,
know.
it might come quicker than you think.
So Harvey, when you ride the train today, there's a whole lot of trees, and it's kind of hard to see that river. Tell me about what the river and all that looked like when you worked for the railroad.
Well, of course, it looks a lot like that today, except you just can't see it as good because of all the vegetation. Right now, it's pretty clear because down here the leaves have about all come off. But these mountains are the prettiest I've ever seen them.
What's your favorite part of this railroad?
The loop.
And why do you like going around the loop so much?
Because people can't believe it, that it goes around like that and don't turn the train around. And they'll see the track down there and they don't realize how, and their ears don't pop because you're not going fast.
Well, I'll tell you what, I've hiked back there, but I've ridden this train before, but I've never paid attention because I've been shooting video the whole time. So, last trip that we rode the other week, I was sitting here and I just couldn't believe how high up we were. I mean,
Above the river on the loop there, yeah.
Yeah. Like when you're on the ground, it doesn't look like it's that high, but you're probably 100 feet above that other track.
We'll see from 360 there at Appalachia to 366 there at Farner, it goes up 441 feet in elevation.
Wow. Yeah, see, I didn't realize that until you're way up high and you look out and you're like,
From down here, you're between 700 and 800 feet elevation. When you get to Farner, you're at 1580.
is that the highest point of the line?
No, Stansbury is 1720, and then Blue Ridge is higher than that. Blue Ridge is the highest, but I don't remember
And
what.
he still remembers all this.
I don't remember what it is though.
Uh-oh.
And I
Well, I
remember,
don't blame you. You don't go to Blue Ridge that much.
but Blue Ridge is at milepost 395. I remember that. 392 or 393 is Murphy Junction.
now, Harvey, you told me one time about a funny story on the loops that an engineer was going too fast. Could you tell me that story?
No, Josh told you that.
Josh told me that. Okay.
Yeah.
Threw a fuse or something to get him to slow down.
Conductor threw the
Conductor
fuse.
on the caboose. I remember hearing that.
Yeah, he throwed it out because the engineer was going too fast, and he throwed it out from the top part of the loop, throwed it down between the track there,
And then here come the engineer, seen that flare.
and he had to stop. See, you got a burning fuse, you got to stop.
I remember PW
Till it
telling
burns out.
that story. And I think it's in an article or in print somewhere too, but I can't.
And
Yeah,
and
actually in a-
there's another thing. Have you ever heard of Tunai? They're close to Woodstock. Yeah, there's a community there called Tunai. The people in the community, after the L&N bought the railroad, they wrote the office in Louisville and wanted them to build a depot in their community. The railroad wrote them back, said, you're too nigh Holly Springs and too nigh Woodstock. They both got a depot. You're too nigh them to get a depot built.
And then that's what they named it.
And that's what they named the community, too nigh.
Too
And it's still called that today.
Yeah.
And this is in Georgia?
In
Yeah.
Georgia, north of Woodstock.
Wow. Wow.
Still on this line, but yeah,
Wow.
too nigh.
Well, my lights are finally dead, so I guess we can conclude the interview.
All
I
right.
appreciate you doing this, Harvey. Thank
Glad-
you very much.
Glad to do it.
You both did wonderful.